this is my mom, and she's a great hero of mine, and she's a visionary. No one moved back to Afgoye La Fola corridor. That's where we live in kilometer 21 in the middle of nowhere. That's where she started her life. That's where she think, okay, this woman, by the time they reach to Mogadishu, they're gonna die. So my goal is to go to them, to be close to them, and give them the access of healthcare they need. So as I remember, I grew up in a hospital. I was with my side of my mother, or giving the numbers of the patient, or lining up the patient, or giving the IV cannula. That's where I grew up, and that's the passion where I inherited from my mother. For the last 23 years, she created a heaven. She had two choices, or leave this country or stay and create your own heaven. So for her, she didn't have an idea of Mogadishu rising. She already see her old Mogadishu. The Mogadishu she loved, the Mogadishu she grew up, the Mogadishu she educated, and the Mogadishu she went outside in Russia and studied and came back to build her own country. She was much luckier than us and our generation, because she came back in 1971 with a peaceful country, with a prosperous and growing country. For our generation, I feel I'm the worst generation in Somalia, because the older generation, they had their time, and the younger generation, they don't know what means the beauty and anything. So this is their world, but we lost in the middle of it. My mom tried to tackle the issues in the place at that time as much as she could do it. She gave the people the shelter, and she focused on extreme poverty, how we can stop that as much as we can. Feeding the people in the hospital, feeding people in the schools. And 2007 and 2009, we reached in our village, where we call Hub Village, up to 90,000 people inhabitant. So that's how we were overcrowded, and we couldn't even do anything, basically. You have to wake up every day 4 a.m., and by the time you go to bed, you've done whatever you could. So don't stress up. That's what I learned from my mom. Wake up, do as your best, and go to bed. And wake up again, even if you start same place tomorrow morning. She's a doctor, and I'm a doctor. We're all a family of doctors. We focus mainly in healthcare. But other things we have done in the village my mom created because of the circumstances. We're forced to give people water. We're forced to give healthcare. By the way, my mother is a lawyer also. She graduated from Somalia National University as a law. She used her law degree to create some rules and regulations within the camp and village. There is no clan division. No matter who you are, you have a free space, free water, healthcare, but you cannot talk about the clan, because that was the court issue that put us today what we have. I put some numbers here, what we have seen the patient in 2008. 84,523. That's how much patient went through our doors in 2008, when we had the largest number coming in. The Mogadishu is rising. The birth of Mogadishu, it brings us also relief in general. In 2013, half of the population and half of our patients went back to Mogadishu. So the total number we have seen is 40,320. It's very relief. It's maybe, when I say people is manageable, they laugh at me, because we had 90,000 to manage. 40,000 patients to see, it's much less. It's easier. So our hospital is running still. We do all kind of emergencies. It's general hospital. It's teaching hospital. The water, we are one of the luckiest few cities in the area. We have our borehole, our own water. We clean water. We pump our water every early morning. So we have sufficient enough water, and we had it since 1997. So we were a few luckiest people in the area. Of course, when you talk about the health, about the water, food, where's the education? You cannot leave out. This is the school I taught in 1993 when I was a kid, at the age of 15. But today it's a bigger, much bigger school, much better school, much brighter future we had. In 2008 and 12, because we had a larger population populated in our area, we could only accommodate 890. When I say 890 kids, wow, it's a lot. No, it's not. Comparing to what the kids needed in school. 37,000 school age we had in area, and we had to cover only 890. It's heartbreaking to see the numbers of the kids and how they're eager and how they want to learn. And 2008, majority of our patient in emergency room was a kid who was killed by car or accident by car because he was running around. His mother went to find a food. He doesn't have school. He's not going to school. So what he's going to do? He's going to run in the streets. So it's very heartbreaking. The 2014, the numbers of IDP moved from the corridor to Mogadishu. We are now teaching the kids about 318 in our primary school, but still the need is high. It's 6,700 kids. We created a daycare because of the story happened, and it's a very heartbreaking story that happened within our camp and close to us. Mother went to find a food for her own children, and she left behind 2 of her kids, and she closed the house and she left, and the house burned it down. The kids die within the house. Because it's a bush, it's easy, it's flammable, the children, they die. So in 2009, we decided to have a daycare. Give them as access where they can drop their kids and do whatever they want and come and get it for their own kids. In tackling the problem of losing our children, also we tackle the problem of malnutrition. Because you need to give a food a proper time. You need to give a child at the age of 12 the nutrition he needs. Otherwise, we're raising a generation that's incapable to act and think about it because they lost the main nutritional thing they needed on that time, on that age. So it's very crucial things we do in daycare. We are very proud of it, and we're trying to grow. We're struggling every day. We become a family. We're not like a village where everybody comes out and in. We are a family. We have been together 23 years, 24 years. Kids born there. Today they are teachers, they are nurses, they are part of security. We become a family who carries their own city. So the impact, when I say like 90,000 people, is very important. And I want to thank everyone in this room who had a business or who is employing someone within the country. You have to multiply. When I say 230 equals 3,450, like something's wrong with math. No, nothing's wrong with math. When you hire 230 people, you have to times 15. Because each Somali is supporting minimum of 15 people. Even if he gets $50, he will support it. 10 of his kids, uncle, ayeyo, abti, ade, whoever. We are very proud. In 2008, we employed 230 people in our hospital and the camp. What happened is the attack happened. In 2010, we were attacked in our hospital, was destroyed. Because due to some war circumstance, my mom was kidnapped. We didn't know where she is for a whole day. But the impact, I always think about it, what they did. They destroyed the hospital, the school. It's mine, but how many lives they impact for one action? The guy took a gun and destroyed the hospital. Over 4,000 people, their food, their hope, over 90,000, their hospital and school is destroyed for 1 second. The young boy who just wanted to get what he wanted. After 2 days, he left, but the people lost. The NGOs who were supporting are left because of the insecurity. So that is what you are thinking. When you say 90,000, it's not an easy number. It's 1% of Somali population. So again, I always think, as of today, we have 112 employees. I always multiply how many people I'm reaching out. We have now employed 87. We reduced it from 112 to 87. And I always think 375 people lost their income, lost their food. That is what I cannot sleep at night. I just fired 25 people, but I look at the impact and the problem I created and the people I affected. But also I'm very proud to give 1,305 people a good night's sleep and food for their table. That is what makes me feel happier. So my generation and generation of our camp of hope, it's moving from emergency to sustainability. That is our goal. Somalia was emergency no matter where you go in the world, no matter who you meet, UN, whatever, they will tell you Somalia is a state of emergency. Nobody will support. How Somalis can support themselves, how they can come from emergency situation to sustainable situation. That is very important. We have to think about it, and we have to say where we are heading in a moment. And you don't need to think too much, or you don't need, oh, I need money, I need to do this, I need to build a beautiful architecture. No. You need to impact one person so he can impact 16 others. That is how you're going to do it. And I think it's our mothers. The mother is the future. This is our lineup in our OB. So if you get educated and employed mother, you're going to get healthier child, educated child, and that brings a better future. So let's start supporting our mothers. This is where we are today. That little girl in my camp, I need to think about it. Do I need to have that kind of life where she's taking care of her siblings? Or future when she grows up, become mother, she goes to the lineup and getting the food? No, that's not the picture I want for her. No, that is where we should start. Yeah, we are in a tough time. We are struggling. But we need to think beyond today. We need to think like 50 years from now. That little girl, 4 years old, she should have the future that we give that boy. He's sitting today there. Faisal. Faisal came to our hospital door when he was 14. Today he's 90 years old. He's a technician, lab technician. He's taking care of all department of our lab. That is the impact we did. I needed him. He's supporting my lab. It's good for me. He's helping his family and his own other relatives. That's where you need to think about it, to give that girl that opportunity. This is when we need to focus. We do co-op farming. You need to remind yourself we have a beautiful country where you can farm. We don't have to worry about the hunger. We don't have to wait about World Food Program that was in ships, days, months. This is what we have. So we need to learn how to cultivate, how to farm, how to eat our fresh food. So try, sleep, there's a farm, go farm, buy from local farmers. That's what I encourage. We want to see the happy family. When the child comes, his weight is beautiful, the mother is happy, we are happy. I want to see this tree. I want to see Somalia rising like moringa. Moringa tree is one of my favorite trees. I want to do a clinical research. One is the first, like blooming so fast and growing so fast. It takes like only 2 months to bloom, and it doesn't need any water after 1 month. So it's self-sufficient, it grows better. I encourage each of you take one moringa and plant your house to tackle the environment issue and to see how you can do from one seed to bloom this beautiful. I want to end it up with Anabe. This is our daycare. Anabe was born in the camp. Anabe, her mother came in 1997. She born in 1998. She grew up, she studied, she just finished her primary school, but she's gonna go next year for her high school, which we're gonna have. We're very proud to say high school is coming in our village. But look at her. I went yesterday morning and take this picture in the daycare, and I thought like she's already an inspiration. She's already a leader. Look how a lot of younger children who she's teaching are looking at her. Her English, she learned how she's teaching. They were singing when I went there. So I invited today Anabe with me and Faisal. She's here. I say, I will talk about you. You have to come with me. And she said, I don't want, I'm shy. I'm not going to talk. I said, I'm going to do all the talking. You just come with me and listen. Anyway, she's very bright. I am very proud of her. She is one of our brightest future within our Hope Village. But always think about it. You don't need to do more. Just help one person. Thank you.